Okay, Parker.
Oh god, I'm still watching the stream. Okay.
I got it. I said all I needed to do was tell the Sneeple Planet from my perspective, because that was easily the funniest.
Yeah. You joined before I even got to the answer on stream, so that was funny. Okay. Where should I start? By the way, I thought that it would actually be a funny and decently interesting... I think it would be a decently interesting video, either for stream or for YouTube, just to do us, just face cam. Maybe we'll do some game in the background of something real chill. Just do stories so far of our main campaigns, because they've never been on stream.
Nope.
So that could be a fun video to make someday.
At some point. We'll do it.
Yeah. I would stream it on mine happily. Okay. Where should I start?
I mean,
what do I want?
You know what?
What do you want to hear from me, Kai? I asked a bunch from you. What do you want to hear from me?
Okay, let me think. What's a good one?
There's a few of them.
I'm trying to think, because there's a few. We've done a lot of fucking stupid decisions. You know what? I know this is a short one.
Mm-hmm.
How about you tell at least the first part of my year off in 5e?
Okay.
Because I know at least you know the parts I'm telling you to go to. Because there's a lot of little stories.
I know exactly. I know that's actually a pretty quick story to tell, so that's easy. So for context, everyone, I run 3 games for this group. I run 3. 2 of them I consider my main games, and then the third one is Poke Roll, which is on this stream and this channel.
Yep, you guys all know Poke Roll.
The other 2 I run a sci-fi one that Kai's been talking about called Stars Without Number. It's a really cool system, but boy is it a lot to deal with. So if you're looking for sci-fi, I don't really recommend it. It's a lot. The second one I run is a normal 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons campaign in a homebrew world.
Someone, LeMe just pointed out it would be actually fun if we did like a charity event if we ever got to it and just did the roundtable of those stories during that.
Oh, I'd happily do it. Because you know what we could do too? Is we could get the party to just gather around for story time, essentially.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
But
I would do that in a heartbeat. So this one, the one Kai's asking, is in our normal 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons campaign. This one, for the most part, is a much more chill environment compared to the Stars one. Like, our sci-fi game is whack. The stakes are like world-endingly high. Everything is always tense. And I'm told that I make it exhausting.
I'm the only
so
one
5th
that's
edition.
fine.
5th edition is comparatively a lot more chill. Much more chill. Sophie, shut up. I'm your manager. You can make it. So 5th edition is a lot more chill, and we do things like I let people make pretty much any kind of character they want. I just tell them don't make something that'll ruin a party. That's all I do. That's all I really tell people, and I'll make it work. So Kai he did a homebrew race, and we looked at the homebrew and we adjusted it to balance it for the game, and I approved it, and it's fine. It is not a Dragonborn, but it is more of a half dragon. Which is whatever. I mean, you know what a half dragon is. It's a half mortal, half dragon. It's not hard to explain. So Ava is a half elf and half dragon, half blue dragon. And blue dragons are, for anyone that knows 5th edition or most D&D lore, part of the chromatic dragons, which are quite evil. Very evil. And we go through the campaign, la-da-da-da-da, people are having adventures, the party saves an elven city, it's pretty nice, da-da-da-da-da. And then I say, okay, since we are taking a break from the 5th edition campaign, we're going to say a year passes. And I individually go to each player and ask, what does your character do through the year? Sometimes I just ask and they say. Sometimes, if they want to, I have a whole session, like 3-hour session with them where we go through that year like a normal session. That was what happened with Kai. Except his turned into like 5 sessions.
To be fair,
It was a
you
lot.
started it.
Listen, I didn't think it would get as in-depth as it did. And to be honest, I didn't start it because I had placed you-know-who in that area at the beginning of the campaign. Well, at the beginning of when Ava joined the campaign. So, Ava says, I'm going to go home. I'm going to travel back to my home city, visit my mom. I got some questions for her since I've learned some stuff about myself, that sort of thing. Ava is a half-dragon knowledge cleric of Ioun, just to give context. So Ava decides, okay, I'm going to go over this this town, which is essentially like the town of Deadliest Catch. It's a bunch of snowy, hardened sailors who go out and like spear krakens and stuff. And so Ava kind of works her way onto one of these ships where the captain is a dwarf who's kind of crazy and keeps talking about catching the big one.
That big one.
The big one. And he never says what the big one is, and Kai just assumes it's probably like a kraken or a big-ass whale or something crazy, right? It's probably like this is probably a Moby Dick situation.
Yeah, Moby Dick.
It's probably a Moby Dick situation. So they keep going, days go by, blah, blah, blah. Ava makes some friends on the boat. Urstuf. Urstuf is a big Russian-sounding, or German. Kind of depends on how far my accent flows.
I think Russian. He's like Braum.
Yeah. He's basically Braum without the shield stuff. He's a big, bald dude with a nice handlebar mustache. And also, who you eventually knew to be Killian. Who we'll get to later. So, Ava just wakes up one day, and after some weird, one night after some weird stuff is happening, like the ship's rocking like it shouldn't, the stuff is like going crazy. Comes up to the top deck. The captain, the crazy dwarf, is up there saying, "It's the big one, Ava." And then what happens? Oh, a giant adult blue dragon swoops down and eats the part of the deck of the ship where the captain is. Just swoops in, destroys that part of the deck, and he is gone, wiped from existence. And then Ava's like, "Oh, the big one was a dragon, an adult blue dragon." And this is the point where Kai started to panic a little bit. Because he's like, I don't know what to do about this, because I'm level 8. And
that's an adult blue dragon.
Like, an adult blue dragon would kill a party of level 8 characters. So, Ava starts waking everyone up, and all the sailors start panicking. Some sailors start to try to harpoon it, but that doesn't go well, as you could imagine, because it's basically flying laps around them and just picking them off for kicks. So then the lifeboats start dropping in and going down, and eventually the ship completely sinks. The ship completely sinks, and it's just lifeboats, and this thing is just diving down like a pelican, and it's just picking up lifeboats for fun and eating people. And so Ava... Kai says he does not make the decision. Ava makes the decision.
Yep. Because
Ava, apparently, cannot let people die when she thinks she can do something about it. Now, Ava has wings because she's a half-dragon. She's not very good with them, but she can fly for very limited amounts of time. Ava flies in the air, and I am told, I fly in the air and fire a spell at the dragon. And I stop for like 3 or 4 minutes. I was just I was probably saying things, but in reality I was stalling to figure out what to do. Because I'm like, I don't want to kill one of the player characters during what is essentially the off-season. During what is essentially a filler arc. And after this performance, I have an aside with Kai, and I say, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Kai says, "I'm sorry. It's what Ava would do." And those are the words you never want to hear as a DM. I'm sorry. It's what my character would do.
Yeah.
So that's the moment I was like, you know what will happen here, correct? And he's like, probably. And I thought the word probably was quite an optimistic word to use in this situation. fires a spell. It barely scratches the dragon.
I don't even think I hit it. I think I just like...
Did you miss? I don't even remember. I remember it did nothing. Even if it hit, it did next to nothing. It turns around. Ava's like, oh fuck, I will try to fly away to duck and dive it. And I'm like, okay, what's your flying speed? Okay, it's about 30 feet. What's its flying speed? And I say, it's 90 feet. Or whatever. I don't even remember what it is. It's like, it's a lot.
More.
Much more. Tremendously more. And then Kai's like, oh. And I say, okay, it's gonna fire its lightning breath back at you. Just once. Just once. And I rolled for that. Ava was almost one shot. Like, survived. Kai survived by the grace of the dice on the first lightning one. And then that's the point where Kai, I think, actually figured out, oh no, I'm over the middle of like an Arctic Ocean with no land in sight. The only people around are dying sailors in the water. This is a problem. This might be the end. And I was like, yeah, it might be. Yeah. So, no lightning breath, and Ava goes down, and I'm sitting
gets
here.
It back that turn because the dice said he gets another.
Oh yeah, because when they breathe, when they do breath weapons, you roll to recharge it, but he recharged it on the next turn because the dice said "fuck you."
They wanted me to make sure I knew.
Mm-hmm. And then you got charred to a crisp, and it was not unconscious; it was death. You were dead. Ava fell out of the sky and went sploosh in the water. And then I was like, how nice do I want to be? Because I really don't... Oh, Sophie, you've never heard this story? Oh, it's a doozy. It's
I didn't
great.
know Sophie didn't know.
So, all of that happens. All that happens. And I, as a DM, think... I have many, many characters in this world who I've made beforehand, because it's a homebrew world, and I wanted to have interesting NPCs for them to meet. One of them was on this ship. To be fair, one of them was the dragon. And Ava took the ship that goes through there, and I rolled for it, and then the dragon was hunting that day, and I was like, fuck, this is gonna get interesting real quick. Didn't expect Ava to take on the dragon 1v1, but here we are. So I tell Kai, it's all dark. You're basically dead. Until you suddenly open your eyes, and you are on an Arctic shore because some of the sailors had paddled ashore, and one of those sailors was a half-elf named Killian, who is essentially a dragon hunter, and he was in disguise. And he was in disguise as a sailor, tracking the dragon. He is a very powerful magic user, and used a magic item to revive Ava. So, that was Kai knew it. I'd never said it once, but Kai could have looked me in the face and known exactly what it was. And that was said, that is me saying, I threw you a bone. This is the only time it will happen.
I've since stopped making stupid decisions quite like that. I still make dumb decisions, but not on that
Just
level.
on less of a scale. So yeah. Killian, the warlock, used a magic item to revive Ava, and you led a bunch of the stranded sailors through the ice as the dragon pursued you. You met up with a Arctic tribe of Goliaths, the Frostcarver tribe, for which you and Killian recruited some Frostcarver hunters to go kill it. And by the way, these Goliaths are badasses.
Sophie,
these guys
I was a DM.
Yeah. That's true. That's
also,
true.
Sophie, I threw you 5 bones and you failed all the rolls. We'll
That's a different
that
story.
later.
We'll get to that. We'll get there. See, here's the thing. This Frostcarver tribe of Goliaths they're badasses. They're a bunch of barbarians and warriors. So, Killian and Ava get 2 or 3 of them to go out to fight the dragon. They only lose one of the Goliaths to the dragon eating it, and then they kill the dragon, and then they speak. What?
Blindness and deafness.
Oh god, yeah. No, that's the day that Kai learned how good blindness and deafness is, because he just when the dragon was about to just... Here's the thing about adult blue dragons, or adult any dragons, right? Any adult dragon. Their flying speed is so fucking fast that if the fight just starts not going their way, they just say, we'll leave, and they fly off at like Mach 20. He was gonna do that, and then Kai said, I'm gonna need to try this spell blindness deafness, so I'm gonna make him blind. And I said, okay, I gotta make the save. It's a con save, so it's probably not gonna... Okay, natural 1.
There was, I think, a 5% chance, 10% of
it
that?
was a 10% chance because it was a 1 or a 2, and I rolled a 1, and it went blind, which meant everything had advantage on it. And Killian used... Well, it was some kind of smite spell. I don't remember. But it knocked... I don't remember which one it is that knocks them prone, but knocked them prone, which means when you knock something prone out of the air, it falls out of the air, and then they proceeded to gang up around it and chop it to pieces. And at level 8 cleric and a party of NPCs killed an adult blue dragon. That wasn't part of the plan of the world, trust me.
So yeah, that's why Ava has dragon armor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what did Ava quickly learn afterwards after you did speak with Dad on the dragon?
So I cast Speak with Dad because being like, why the fuck is an adult blue dragon? Because I might be player dumb. I'm not character dumb quite like that. So I know that there is a connection here since me blue dragon, he blue dragon. So I'm like, who are you? He is my brother. We have killed.
He's your half brother.
He's
your half brother.
Well, he's not. Obviously, he's not my full brother, Parker.
Well, you never know.
Anyways, he's my half brother. He was just here to hunt and to dominate and all that. And my father, I think it was the Endbringer is the name given.
I gotta look at my notes again because we haven't talked about it in a long time. But yeah, he has some edgy ass name, like nickname like that.
And yeah, so that's sort of.
He's basically the terrors of the sky. He owns the sky.
So that's been dangling above my head. I was pretty sure I told everyone the story in the group, at least. I guess Sophie never.
I'll be real. You might have told Sophie and she just forgot. That's a real possibility.
And our friend.
So that's not the.
What was it? Who was it before that got upgraded in name? Kenai.
Oh yeah.
The Goliath.
Yeah, turned into Dragon Eye, and you and Ava got to. You should show the art sometime. You and Ava got a cool new belt as an honorary trophy from the Frostcarvers for being an honorary member of the Frostcarvers for helping fell a fucking dragon. Killian said, "Here's my number. Call me if you need me. I gotta go." And because he has, other places to be. And then Ava was like, okay, time to get the rest of the way home, back to Ariad, which you're a little more than halfway there at this point. You have to cross the Silent Sea and then the Jade Sea, and that's about it. And those are honestly not that big. Like, it's a long way, but it's basically like you're going from Brazil to Florida. So you find a ship. And let's see. This ship... What happened on the first ship, Kai?
That was the mutiny.
No. Okay, the first ship was the big one. Got wrecked.
Okay,
this is the second ship.
The second ship was the mutiny.
Second ship...
Do you not remember that?
Was the mutiny.
So, what happened was...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the details because it got foggy there for a minute.
At this point, I had gone to another small town where I tried to get a ship basically to another halfway point because there was a series of islands in the sea.
This was just a cargo ship, not some crazy whaling ship.
It was just a cargo ship. I had said, okay, just get me to this port town and then I'll make a ship straight to my hometown that I'm going to.
You were just taxiing.
Right, because I knew there's no way I was getting a ship straight there from this small sailing town. And I do, and we get in, and Parker says that a lot of the people here seem to be acting a bit shifty.
Also, Erstoof stuck with you.
And Erstoof's with me, because he's a bro, and he wanted to go since his ship is now in the belly of a dead dragon.
And he also has a broken leg at this point, so you are carrying him around literally.
Yes, I am literally carrying him around. But anyways, so we got on a ship and do all this, and the various crew is acting very shifty, but I don't pay much mind because I think they probably think I look weird. I am a
You are a freak
half-dragon,
of nature.
so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just keep to myself in my quarters. And one night, I discover that this ship, after several guards have forced people into rooms using a certain spell that I have to see around, they have overthrown the captain and plan to do something. So I try my best to
You figured out what they plan to do, I remember.
No,
this now.
I figured out in this way. So
Okay.
what happens is I tell Urstu, okay, we gotta get off the ship. For some reason they've mutinied, and if you know clerics, they ain't good at stealth.
You were wearing heavy armor at this point.
Yep, but I knew, well, I can't really, put it away and not just be prepared if someone tries to kill me, so I thought I might as well hold it and just do what I can. So I did everything
Not
I
heavy
could
armor, but
to make sure I
disadvantage
could sneakily stealth away at the perfect time. But unfortunately, I got caught. And 2 guards came up and almost tried to get me back in the room, but I used a very powerful ability from a knowledge cleric to read minds using mind reading. And fortunately, that ability also lets you cast suggestion on them with an automatic success at the end of it. So I discover that they are trying to sell the crew and cargo, and I would probably have been sold off as a crew,
it was a slave trade ring.
yeah,
They
as a
were
slave.
mutinying ships and selling off the crew, telling them that it would actually be freedom.
So, using this, I just suggested him that he should go check on some other crew and some other passengers and such, and managed to barely make my way to a lifeboat before more of the crew started firing on me, but I managed to escape with Urstu, and we left.
In a lifeboat in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Fortunately for clerics, I have the ability to make food at this point, so I'm not going to starve, but I'm like...
It's not good.
It's not a good situation.
You are in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with no land in sight in a lifeboat.
I think now you know what happens next.
I remember what happens next. So, more of the because that was a random encounter table, was where that one came from. And in my head, I thought, oh, these guys aren't that bad. Ava and Urstu, if Ava does a little bit of clever thinking, they can probably keep the ship and they'll be fine. Or expose the slavers to the rest of the crew, or just get rid of everyone and get to deport themselves slowly. No, they just left, and I was like, okay.
I was under the impression the whole crew was mutinied. I was too late.
Well, you never found out, but I can tell you this now because this is a year later. Who cares? But yeah, it was just 5 or 6 of them were slavers. That their entire job is to implant mutiny in ships, and then get the crew to sail the ship to a specific island where they will then be captured and sold. It's a kind of a ring that is run literally by a bunch of pirates in that area. And it's part of the random encounter table. So, that was ship number 2. Ship number 3 literally comes over the horizon and is one of those kind of pre-made NPC groups that I told you about earlier, how Killian was one. NPCs to the rescue, numero dos, is good old the ship of Captain Dez and Nata, her first mate. Or these guys are, they're tough. They're also kind of freaks of nature. At least Nata is, but that's whatever. They get Ava and Urstu to the next island safely. Actually safely. And Ava gets off. It is this whole big drow trade nation that operates under a perpetual cloud. Ava doesn't look at anyone. Just don't look at anyone. Don't talk to anyone. Don't say anything to anyone. Beelines for the next ship. Hi, I would like to go to Ariad. Yes, here is money. Thank you. You get on the next ship. This is ship number 4. This one, nothing goes wrong, and you make it to Ariad.
And I fix Erstoof's broken leg.
Yep, you and Erstoof set part ways in Ariad because he says he wants to see the rest of the world. And you go home, talk to your mom. You know, like, hey, met bro. She's like, didn't know you had a bro. It was like, me neither. And
I don't have one anymore.
Don't have one anymore. Here's his skin. By the way, Ava carved up her dead half-brother and took his scales.
Look, I'm just saying.
It's
Dragon
hardcore.
Armor.
It's
Dragon armor.
hard.
Everyone says it's hardcore. Dragon armor.
I mean, both. Here's the thing, Kai. Both are true. Dragon armor is true, but it's rough is also true.
Eva doesn't give a shit about family, to be honest.
That's fair. So, that's what happened, and that's why Kai's solo session during his character's year off from the main campaign was way more in-depth than anyone else's. Like, 1,000 times more in-depth. I can tell you Iggy's in like 2 sentences.
That was... Yeah, but Iggy is a... That's a story.
Yeah, that's awesome. Iggy's a story.
I have also been searching for a goddamn Volbeat for the entire time you've been telling this story, and I have not found a single one!
I've been watching.
This is why I haven't said it. I haven't said what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find one Pokemon, and this asshole will not show up. So I'm just gonna keep telling you to tell stories until it's jerk.
Yeah, what should we go with? Kai, I want you to regale them with the Kraken Planet, because we've got time, and it's a personal favorite
Okay.
of mine.
Kraken Planet then.
Yeah.
So,
This takes place
after my death.
after Kai's got a new character, after they do some adventures on the space station.
So I'll start with the lead up. So and the reason why we're here, because it's gonna make more sense why we're fucking here. We find out one of the NPCs that we had befriended is a basically a doppelganger and also a super assassin for the lady that murdered me. And someone had accidentally basically Winter Soldiered her, basically, in the movie.
Brainwashed
in Civil War,
Yeah.
where they took control and made her kill a politician and then flee to this planet that we've been orbiting this whole time. But this isn't just like a regular planet. This is a planet completely made of liquid nitrogen. Like, all of it.
The air is barely breathable.
Yes, so we had chosen that we would take... that she had taken an escape pod and landed there, and we thought, oh shit, if no one's there to pick her up, she's gonna die. So we have to go.
And she's your guys' friend, so you're trying to rescue her from this brainwashing. Yeah.
So we decide that we're going to go down to the planet and save her. So I also get into another escape pod thinking this is going to be the fastest way. We'll land at roughly the same time. So
no, that's not what you do.
No, that's what I do. Other half of the team takes a spaceship after we tell them what happens, and they try and fly the ship down.
I think you and Tony both.
Yeah, me and Tony
Molly's
took
character.
the escape pod. The rest of them took a ship and took a little longer to get there.
And that ship was rickety. Like,
It was
them and the other NPC basically took the nearest one, and boy, was it a rust bucket.
Also, Mithril Monarch, this isn't an emulator. This is a GameCube I'm streaming through with a whole lot of wires. This is legit. There is no fast forwarding. Anyways, so we land on a planet. Unfortunately, the only people present for this session were me, Tony, the person in the escape pod, and Basil. Basil, of course. So it starts.
Oh yeah, Basil was with you, right?
Yep, at the start of it, Basil was there. So Basil. And
No. Basil didn't get in the escape pod with you. If you remember, you and Tony literally had to find a way to paddle the escape pod through the liquid nitrogen ocean, and you found Basil on an iceberg with pieces of the rickety ship around them.
Yep.
And they had just fallen out.
Yep. So we were now basically using solid nitrogen along with a makeshift paddle using one of my weapons, hoping not to touch the fucking planet while knowing that we had 24 hours to find our friend and escape or we die.
It's not a good atmosphere.
Now during this time, we find a large ice floe and our tensions are high. There's a lot of yelling, thinking how the fuck do we do this? And that attracts some monster. What
The
we-
only inhabitants of this planet.
Which turns out to be full-sized krakens that are called nitro krakens since they're made of fucking nitrogen. And
They
we proceed
exist
to
on the,
fight.
the liquid nitrogen planet.
Yeah.
They were basically giant squids. They were basically alien giant squids.
We barely fight it off. I am bloodied, and there's a point system of moves called System Strain, and I had almost maxed them out.
Basically, in this system, when you have a body mod, it puts strain on your body. And Kai's new character was based on body mods.
And I maxed out. I was like 9 out of 10, and 10 is death. So I wasn't using the other one. But we managed to fight it off. We did. And you
didn't kill it. You just fended it off.
Yes. To our rescue was another player. The Morgan came in. Morgan got in, and had
another
ship.
ship.
Had
Yeah,
another
got a-
ship. It had air and everything, and we were saved. But we still hadn't found our NPC friend. And even though we didn't have the timer anymore, they did. So we knew we still have the 24-hour time limit to save them.
But Kai, while you
Oh.
went up in the ship and rested, what happened?
I was going to get to that. So this is a series of stories, and I want.
This might be the biggest meme in our group, by the way.
There is no meme out of everything that we've told so far that has surpassed this one meme. It starts with us not picking up a signal. We're frustrated because we know this is an empty planet. There's nothing on it, and we're not getting a single ping from a radio or like a message from her, basically cell phone. Nothing's coming out, and we're like, okay, we can't find it. What's going on? And we start pitching ideas. And I make the suggestion, well, this is an empty planet. There's nothing here. It's just nitrogen. Why don't we use a metal detector to find her pod? I get met with from our friend Lee that was a stupid idea. But this isn't where the argument started.
In the meantime,
No, wait. This isn't where the
Noxie-
argument started. Because then I just shut up like, okay,
But-
I'm stupid. But then.
But in
we
the
continue.
meantime, Noxia and me as the DM have gone into a different chat because Noxia has essentially gone into a psychic meditation with these gem things that don't matter right now.
Right.
But she's not cognizant, and I as the DM am not there right now.
In Discord voice chat, there's 2 voice chats. All of us are in one. Parker and Morgan are in another. I'm looking for a Volbeat, by the way. 1% chance.
Oh
So,
boy,
yes, we're gonna be here for a while. But
that's fine. We got stories for days.
But I get told that the metal detector is a stupid idea. Now 10 minutes pass, and we're still not finding anything. This is actually the point when they go into the second trance. And then Basil suggests, okay, what if they're using cloaked signals? And I stop. I'm like, what? What
Mind
is
you,
a
Basil's a-
cloaked signal?
And Basil's a robot.
Basil's a robot. Now,
Basil's a super advanced AI robot.
this isn't where the argument starts. This is me genuinely asking, what the fuck is a cloaked signal? And Lee, aka Basil's, in-character response is, I don't know, but I'm a robot, so I'm right. And I just stop. I'm like, excuse me? And I look, Parker's still in the voice chat away from us. He can't hear us. Nothing's happening, so we're just entertaining ourselves. And so I'm like,
Yeah, Morgan,
I'm not
me and
letting
you
this
didn't
go.
get to hear this.
I'm not
We
letting this
didn't
go.
get-
I wasn't letting this go. I have who knows how long to yell at Lee's bullshit. So I just fucking go off. I start saying, what the fuck is a cloaked signal? That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. And they're like, it's a cloaked signal. I'm a robot. I know things. I'm like, that's not how it works. I'm a human. I'm not a fucking doctor. So this argument goes on, and circling around the fact of me asking, what is a cloaked signal? And Lee saying that metal detectors are stupid. and it just goes. And at some point, I'm sure Molly and Sophie just clock out mentally, like, they're just probably clocked out. And at some point, it starts petering out, and I'm like, okay, whatever, it's not going anywhere. And I look at the clock, and I'm like, wow, I've been yelling for like half an hour.
It was
God,
a long meditation.
Lee says, okay, but here's what a cloak signal is. I'm like, no! And then it starts up again, just instantly. Like, Lee gets me. Just again. I go off again. Another half hour passes, and I'm just yelling, and we're yelling back, and it's just going. And it culminates in the exact point that Lee says that she says something threatening, like, I can kill you. And hold on. Let me deliver this one, please. No, wait, I'm just going to context this first. Okay. My new character is a bulky, like, maxed out strength martial artist, and they are a frail robot standing right next to me. Parker, what do you join to hear in my response to Basil?
This is after the point of I've been spending a long time in a secret chat with Morgan because her character's in a psychic meditation with these otherworldly beings through these crystals. It's been very serious. It's been very emotional. It's been a lot of deep conversation. And then we join back in, and I'm ready to apologize for taking so long with the secret chat. And then I hear, I will drop kick you through the stratosphere!
And that is Cloaked Signals, as they join back in from their important, deep, emotional, meditative trance to me violently threatening to break a party member. So that's how that ends. Anyways.
We haven't even gone back to the planet yet.
Nope. So anyways,
this was the most nothing RP moment that we were just buying time with, and what came out of it, I didn't even get to experience in its full, but I still hear about to this day.
It is. Yep, it's just an average Tuesday. So anyways, what happens and what ends up happening with the crystals is that basically a new like puppy god dog shows up, and it's a life one, not a death one, and it restores all of us to our. So is there a cloak signal? Parker, don't you dare say anything. I like to point out, just since we talked about it, cloak signals are a thing, but my issue with the argument, first off, is that is cloak signals work by going in between common frequencies, and this planet has nothing on it. It's
uninhabited. It's completely uninhabited.
You can't cloak signal that shit. And secondly,
it's like trying to disappear into the crowd when you're the only person in a room.
Right. And secondly, it does not detract from metal detectors still working, and Basil not just knowing these things because she's a fucking robot. Anyways, so the dog heals us. The life dog heals us, and we're all hunky dory. We've gone away from the argument, and we end up finding a nitrogen berg that houses
this one's a big
the
one.
crashed
This was like
ship.
a mountain.
Yeah, it was like a mountain. It was the one that inhabited the crashed ship that our friend used. So we instantly go down to investigate, and we're being careful because from the outside we can see it's broke. Like they got out. There's like debris everywhere, but there's still something inside. So we carefully.
Also, what do you see in the iceberg?
Oh, it's a completely frozen and what we assume to be lifeless nitro kraken. Full. But it's frozen, not moving. We made sure, we asked. It was, like, from what Parker told us, it was unmoving.
Mm-hmm.
So we investigate the crashed escape pod and find a compad. I fail my perception check, and our friend Morgan does succeed and notices beep, 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 beep.
And this is the scene being Noxia and Lexus, which is Morgan and Kai, standing in the middle of this escape pod that is about to blow. Morgan, by the way, can teleport and can also take people with her.
Yep, so Morgan can teleport. And Morgan says, I am going to teleport out on a reaction. And Parker says, are you going to take Lexus with you? And Morgan says, he can take it. I then proceed to panic. I on reaction, use this makeshift, or this special shield I have to protect me, but I used some of it up during the Nitro Kraken fight, so it is weak.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask, I explode. The whole thing blows up, and I'm launched out of it. And Parker rolls a lot of dice. You know that experience if you play D&D on Discord, when the DM picks up a bag of dice and just empties them on the table next to the mic, and you're like, oh, I'm going to die. I have 34 health, and my shield has 4 health. So
I'm gonna be real. I think it was like
no, I know what it was.
It's like 10d6.
Yeah, I know.
It was a lot.
I have 34 health and 4 health on my shield. Parker rolls the dice and says, "You take 37 damage." And I, desperate, ask him, "Does that factor in my shield?" And he says, "Not yet." And I breathe a sigh of slight relief as I am left with 1 health. And in this system, you don't die when you take like double your damage and health when like in 5e. You're dead when you hit 0.
Mm-hmm.
I almost insta-died hearing Morgan say, "He can take it." Also remember, I still have maxed out my system strain, so I'm sore like no fucking tomorrow already. And then
you can't use any of your augmentations to save you because it will kill you.
And then a C4 explodes in my face.
In your face, under your feet, behind your back, all over the place.
But I barely live with 1 health, maxed out system strain.
And they also have to save you from rolling down the mountain and stop you from rolling into the fucking Nitro Sea, because that would have definitely killed you.
Anything would have killed you. If you said you take 1 falling damage, I'd say, okay, I'm dead. But I live. And I know, in this moment, knowing the system, yeah, Lexus is in a fucking coma. He's not up. He's out.
Your HP in this system is a very, very important and literal number.
Yep. So I'm just like, alright. I'm just gonna mute my mic. Other than screams of agony. That's about it.
Kai, we make it seem like we torture you when we play D&D.
The worst part is, Parker, you don't. It's so rarely you doing
The only thing
it.
I've done, out of all of these stories, the only thing I've done is the Ava thing.
Yeah, and even then, I still know I'm the one that 1v1 the dragon. I don't blame you for that.
You did, that was 50% you.
That was like 80% me.
Yeah, Morgan, I love how Morgan was like, he can take it, when Morgan had like twice the amount of health you did.
If Parker rolled 1 more damage, I would have died on my new character. After
that was the second session of your new character.
After Lee killed my last character, Morgan almost inadvertently killed my new character.
That was like the second or third session with your new character. You had so much thought out with them, and it was almost all gone instantly.
So then Parker we all get into the ship as we hear a message on our compads of this nefarious evildoer that has taken our friend and then threatens to. He activates basically the Nitro Kraken by destroying the mountain that we are on.
Cracked open the iceberg.
Yep, and we escape on our ship while I'm out
rolling around in the back trying not to die.
Hoping that no stray bottle falls over on my head and kills me.
You are literally trailing blood everywhere you roll.
Yep. And we managed to escape barely. After the session, I'm like, Morgan, why didn't you teleport me?
I think Morgan's answer was, I panicked.
I panicked. So that was the Nitro Kraken planet.
Oh, it was really funny. It was so good. Mind you guys, there are also other stories where Kai's not even involved and other people experience shit like this. So this happens a lot.
Oh, I think we have a tally going of all of my near-death experiences. Were we up to 12, 13?
We broke 20, Kai, when we stopped counting.
Did we? Man, it was a lot.
We stopped counting.
It's what my character would do. I can't...
Kai's gonna punch you in the face and say it's what my character would do. Morgan, you stick to your character. I admire that commitment.
Our sci-fi campaign is an experience.
It's so, like, reciting back all the stories, I'm starting to realize I might put you guys under too much stress in that game. Because, like, I'm just gonna say, we might get to the stories if Kai doesn't catch this Pokemon at some point soon, because we might just continue telling stories until he does.
Well, Volbeat is a fucking asshole.
But,
I might as well keep the stream going and make this a bonus stream of just, like, Stars Without Numbers story. Featuring Pokemon.
Featuring Pokemon? you have to give this a whole different layout.
I've been paying attention. I've been paying complete attention to this game. Not a single Volbeat has shown up. It's just been a shit ton of Illumise.
Morgan, I apologize, but I also don't apologize.
Morgan, is there a story that you want us to tell? Because I've asked Sophie and I've asked Parker. And Parker's asked me. So you're the only one here that's left.
I mean, we could just also keep going in chronological order of when we think of random bullshit to tell, because we can skip over stuff that won't be too interesting to tell.
Okay, you know what? I want to tell something.
Okay.
This is a short story, but it's one that I hold dear to my heart. So, out of our group, there's... Morgan is the assassin, the edgy assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie is the crazy pyromaniac.
Sophie's the wild card.
Sophie's the wild card. Lee is Basil, the technical robot.
Mm-hmm.
I am the muscle, and our friend Molly, playing Tony, is the face, the charisma.
And then added in at this point is Abby, who is the pilot.
She's not there for this session that I'm about to talk.
Oh, okay.
So, between all of these, me and Tony, as in Molly, have no brain cells.
You have the lowest intelligence in the party.
We have no brain cells. And we're the only ones that show up for this session. And Parker says, okay, I'm going to give you a job. You're going to go to this planet. You're going to go talk to this man and ask why he's not paying his due fees.
You guys were the kneecappers for the loan sharks for a day.
Well, we sent in the kneecappers after, but that's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
So, our history so far, as you've told, we've been banned from a mafia planet for inadvertently killing a son. We've been banned from a snake planet for having them sink a city and stealing all their money. We've been
Granted, they were evil,
from a mining planet for killing the president of their company, and we've escaped from a militia for killing a lot of innocent people.
Militia.
So we have,
mind you, the snake planet was evil, so that's fine.
So we have a history of fucking up our missions horrendously. We're not good.
That's true.
But we go to this planet. We do everything right. We go through security properly, getting our equipment through without setting off any alarms, using our abilities. We find a person that we are trying to find, but on the way, we encounter a certain civilian who is being chased by the police. Now,
also, Morgan, I will tell that story after Kai's done, don't worry.
So he comes up to us while he's running away from the police and slyly hands me basically a USB stick, or like a box, and I hide it using my thing, but I don't help him because I'm on a mission here. I got a job to do, and this is just a stranger.
This is a split-second decision you're having to make.
Yes, so I'm just like, I take it, but I'm just like, whoa, dude, what are you talking about? And the police come up and shoot the guy, in front of everyone on the street. And then they ask if I had anything, and I seemingly pass my deception check and say, no, he just walked up to me mumbling something and you shot him. And they apparently buy it, and they set up the crime scene and we go our ways. We go...
And the police were claiming this was a dangerous terrorist.
Yes. And then we go to do our job. We go into the building we were meant to do. We The only thing we fucked up is we didn't announce that we were part of the group meant to send there, but like
That was easily rectified.
that was easily rectified because, you know, it made us pissed off, and we were supposed to be pissed off at him anyways for not paying his money. So we do our mission. We ask why, and turns out that he's just being stingy and doesn't think he needs the help. And we leave. We find out that the thing in the box was the USB stick. Seemingly, I hide myself disposing of the box, but I don't know. It was kind of a lower roll. But we get up off the planet. We head back to the group. We get paid. And the next session, we tell everyone, man, guys, we did it. We did a mission. We got a job. We did a job. And everyone, but we point out that, oh, but there's like someone died. Like, it's just a guy died in the streets from the police. And they instantly go, oh my god, you fucked up the mission. And we're like, what? No, that wasn't us. The police came and shot a guy. It had nothing to do with that. You guys suck. You fucked up the mission. And we're just sitting here like, what? We did it. We got paid. We did our job. Look, you got a cool data stick of information. You guys, Tony and Lexus, you're so dumb. And we're just sitting there like, what? What? At this point, we're like, we're smarter than you guys at this point. What the fuck?
Also, let it be known that ever since then, and I've kept track, every time Tony and Lexus have gone off on their own duo mission, be it party separation or anything like that, you have never failed.
We are a dynamic duo, and the other 3 members, I won't count Abby because she hasn't commented, but the other 3 just are insistent that we're not capable of success. While we're sitting here, the A-team, sitting in like the rookies' quarters. Like, what the fuck?
You guys basically make the entire Thanksgiving meal, and then the rest of the team says, that's nice, now go sit at the kiddie table.
Like, what? So yeah, that was the story of Lexus and Tony, the dynamic duo. That was the start.
Yeah. And then the whole Nitro Cracker planet happens, and more stuff happens there, which is not that interesting to tell. I did a combination of Ready Player One and Matrix stuff down there when they found this. They kind of found this abandoned, long dead, abandoned scientific base frozen in the ice. That it was kind of running on automation, and weird shit was happening with it. They escape with help from Abby's character because Abby had just joined the campaign at the time, so her character came in fresh and rescued them. And then you guys leave. Lexus is still in a coma.
I didn't get healed, so I was...
You were still in a coma at the time. You were in immense pain. Literally, when you were in, we'll just call it the Matrix, when you were in the Matrix and you found out, oh, I'm not this guy, I'm actually Lexus. I said, then you revert to Lexus. And you said, wait, does that mean that my health goes to Lexus? And I say, yes. And you're like, have I been resting? I say, no. And then you say that my character screams in pain and falls to the ground.
I don't know how else to RP that. I'm bleeding out of my eyes. There's no lower that I could be. No lower
I had completely forgotten how bad off Lexus was.
Physically could not be in a worse state.
Oh god. Anyways, so you heal up, you guys get back, and you will notice a trend, by the way, whenever we tell more of these stories, is that every time Lexus finally gets fully healed, he immediately gets knocked back down. Immediately. The same session. So you guys go back to this, like your next place that you're going, because this is the point where you guys are like, okay, we have a few different leads on a few different things, and I give you guys the freedom of the star map and say you guys have Abby's character, who is a very good pilot, a very good inventor, a very good engineer, and has a ship. So you guys literally finally have free reign of travel. This far in the campaign, you finally unlocked the ability to fast travel, essentially. So, you guys look at the star map and think, okay, here's the things we have to do. Here are all the things that need doing. Which one do we go first? That data chip that you found from the dude who got shot by the police had a lead on Molly's character's, essentially, backstory. characters from their backstory. So you guys say, we're going to go back to that planet. We're going to go back to that planet. And we're going to see... we're going to see if we can figure out something else. Because essentially all you know is that one of the characters from Molly's backstory is in a mugshot.
Yeah, they've been arrested.
Mm-hmm. That's all you know. And Molly's like, guys, I really want to go. By the way, it was really funny because you guys found that out, and then the Nitro planet came up, and you guys had to go do that, and Molly was pissed. Molly was like, but my backstory's finally here.
And we were like, well, she just assassinated a politician and a jettison to a planet. We kind of got to deal with that.
And then Molly was like, fine, but we got to do my backstory. And then as soon as we came back after the session after the Nitro planet thing had ended, Molly just screamed, if we don't do my backstory, I'm going to kill somebody.
I knew it was going to be me somehow.
Probably. You were going to lose another character. But so you guys go to this planet, which is a habitated planet and is currently like it's if you think standard sci-fi habitable planet with a big cities, futuristic stuff, this is it. This is pretty much as normal a standard sci-fi planet as you can get. Kai, what's the name of the fucking planet in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 that's like the big city planet?
The one that Nova Corps on?
Yeah, basically the planet the Nova Corps on. This is basically that.
I forget their name.
But it's a big, civilized, cool sci-fi city where you can kind of just do whatever you want. I was like, they're really cool shopping if you guys want to do that here, because any DM knows that sometimes their players really just like to fucking shop for some reason. There's all this stuff, and then after they're done doing all their stuff, they're like, okay, let's investigate the problem. They find out, okay, she's being held at this prison in this city. Okay, we go to that prison.
Wait. Wolverine.
Fuck, there's a lot that happens before you get to the prison, I forgot. Okay, so...
I just had to say that one word.
Kai? I think something happens before that.
I mean, there's...
The virus. The basal virus.
You watching stream?
Yes. So
no, you want me to do this from my perspective or yours?
Do it from your perspective. Go, because you're good at telling these.
Okay. So during the Matrix thing, we discover Basil's body has been compromised. How Basil's character works in this system is they have like a core box, kind of like a phylactery actually, and then they have the body. The core box is them, it's their mind, and they're just controlling the body. So the body's been compromised, and we think if that body gets near the core, that's a big problem.
Because this body has been infected by some sort of leftover thing from this glitchy as fuck AI that was running the Matrix prison.
But Basil doesn't tell us. Basil hasn't been telling us anything of this. Any of the glitches happening, we don't know.
And Basil's basically been hearing voices, been having knocking in the back of their head, and has been seeing some whack shit.
But we don't know. We barely know. We know that something's up, but we don't know what. And it comes to a head when we're in a car, we're driving to the prison. Or not even to the prison, just to a place, like a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even think you're on the way to the prison yet.
So, what happens is, Basil's body gets compromised for a moment, where they take Noxia's gun and shoots them.
In the neck.
In the neck. Noxia lives. Noxia lives, takes a lot of damage, but she's fine. For the most part. Like, there's no, permanent damage.
Basically, Basil's body got hacked, and against their will, they did something for a split second, and then they had control again.
So we disarm Basil, and we say, what's going on? What happened? And Basil says nothing, gets out of the car, and runs. And I'm like, what? And we start saying, Basil, you gotta come back. You gotta help. We're going to help you. And we end up actually having one of our friends, Zahir, who can teleport. Also, he tackles Basil. And we get Basil to stop. And we're like, Basil, you have to tell us what's going on. And Basil breaks free of the grapple and runs again. And I'm thinking in character. From my backstory, I know how dangerous a compromised true AI is. I have a story that I haven't told, so I'm not gonna say, that's connected to true AI, so I know this is very bad. And I'm thinking, the only thing that I know to do is to destroy the body.
Because that doesn't kill them.
That will not
Basil's
kill
already
Basil.
died. Basil's body's already died once.
As long as the core's fine, it's fine. But if Basil's body gets to the core, big bad. So I think, okay, I have to do it. Basil's not saying anything, it's just running. My character would destroy the body before Basil kills civilians or gets to the core. And Basil, and at this point, apparently, I'm the bad guy for daring to suggest this as Lee.
Mind you, both Sophie and Abby's characters were on your side for this too.
Yes. But Noxia then teleports over and manages to work Basil's trust so that they would go and get her fixed, or purged, so to speak, where they are now. Meaning,
go get some anti-malware installed, you know?
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm saying, if Basil kills anything, or gets to the body, or anything, we can't let that happen. But against everything I'm saying, we just let her go. With Noxia, but we just let her go. And I'm thinking, like, how am I the asshole? What? Basil
Somehow you
shot Noxia and ran.
In the neck.
But yeah, I'm the asshole.
Oh god.
So keep continuing. After that happens, we continue with our plan. How about you tell us all the things that happened? We also actually skipped over Wolverine, but
I thought Wolverine came after this.
no, because Noxia was with Alexis for that. Remember, it was a two-on-one fight.
God. Okay, so another thing that happened on this planet was... I don't remember anything that happened in the order of this planet.
It's okay.
I don't remember what order
Because
things
these are
happened
very
in.
independent, small stories that do not relate to each other.
But, so you know how your group has a tendency to have people after you? This particular one, you guys were literally basically at a fucking IHOP, just having breakfast, and then I say basically I say the equivalent of roll perception, and when you every time you guys hear that, your heart stops for some reason, and I'm starting to figure out why.
I wonder.
But so you guys roll that, and I don't remember who. I think Noxia is the one who rolled high.
Most of
you
you
rolled high,
but Noxia rolled the highest, I think.
Okay. Basically, I said, Noxia, you're sitting on the inside, not really paying attention to what people are talking about. You look out, and you see a beam of light. You see like a bright light at the top of the building across the street. It's multi-story building. And then Noxia is like, and then Morgan's like, what that? And I say, you recognize that as the charge of a rifle. And then Noxia is like, fuck, everyone get down. You guys dive out of the way, and as soon as you dive out of the way, the booth you were sitting in, the table, the glass in the window, all is consumed in an orange light and melts, is liquefied. And you're all like, oh, let's get him. And then so a roof hopping pursuit ensues.
Meanwhile, also, Basil and Tony
Go into a Macy's.
go into a Macy's to find a disguise.
I don't remember why.
I don't know why. And then they broke into a security center of a mall to take
I think
cameras.
Molly was tired and Lee was drunk that night. I remember that they
Parker
were
was
not
constantly
lucid.
like, what?
And I remember it was a night where they were not lucid. They were not lucid. But so basically it came down to the point where the only two to catch up to this assassin was, because he started running. As soon as he was like, shit, I've been found out, he started running. It was Morgan and Kai, Noxie and Lexus. They catch up. They're on a rooftop. Time to fight. And this guy, like, oh, fuck, he's a mutant. He starts growing these big, like, bone serrated spikes out of his elbows and his arms and stuff. And they call him Wolverine. And I'm like, I mean, fair enough. Pretty Wolverine-y.
Kind of Wolverine without the adamantium.
Well, it's not, like, out of his knuckles. It's basically like,
I just meant, like, he's got bone stabbing.
It's actually like Kha'Zix. Now that I think about it, it's like Kha'Zix. Did you get it? Yeah. All right.
We've been here for like an hour and a half.
We're about to hit 3 hours.
Oh. Anyways, keep going.
So the assassin and the brawler basically catch up to the enemy assassin, and mind you, Morgan's character is an assassin. But Morgan's character is fucking jacked in terms of health. Like, Morgan has taken abilities that increase her health out the ass.
And we have the same armor rating. Like, we're exactly the same.
Morgan has yoked Noxia in terms of combat statistics. And you...
I was like a mix. I have some RP stuff.
You have some RP stuff, but also you focus more on offense than defense.
Yeah.
You definitely focus more on offense than defense. You can deal a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, but your armor is okay, but your health is not great. You have a propensity in Stars to make characters with low max health for some reason.
Anyways.
But here's the thing. Kai's character, visually, is athletic, tough, and he's the punchy-kicky guy. So everyone's like, everyone thinks in their mind he's the tank, and Kai repeatedly says, I'm not the tank.
Stop.
You're going to kill me. I almost died from an explosion. And so in this fight, where this Wolverine-like dude can move super fast, hitting things with his serrated arm, hitting guys with serrated arms and stuff like that. You guys broke his jetpack, which, by the way, you could have had if you hadn't broken it.
Yeah.
That was loot intended for you, and boy, would that have been fun. But you destroyed that shit, which is fine. It happens. There will be more, maybe, if I'm nice. And then you guys fight him, and Noxia proceeds to stab him, and at the end of every turn, I hide behind Lexus. And Kai's like, what? And then this guy unloads all 3 of his attacks on you every turn.
I wonder how well I made out in that fight. Oh yeah, I almost died. Again.
How much? You have like 4 or 5 health at the end of that fight.
Let me count this just in Stars alone. Han almost died on the mining planet. Han died. I almost died on the Kraken planet. Twice to the Nitro Kraken and the explosion. So that was 4. I almost died to Wolverine here.
This is 4 just off the top of our heads. If we thought about it, there's many more.
Oh yeah. 5 almost.
Just in the
5.
Stories that we've been telling.
Yeah.
But you didn't die. So it's really funny. It's just really fucking funny. Because here's the thing. Morgan, playing Noxia, has very good survival instincts of, this is how I stay alive. It's just always funny to me that it ends up being Lexus who is the wall that she chooses to hide behind. Because it could be literally anyone. Noxia would hide behind Basil, or Zahir, or Tony. But you're always the one there.
It's always me.
You're always the one there. And it's so funny to me. It's so good. It's one of my favorite things that keeps happening. But you guys beat Wolverine, you knock him unconscious, and you find out that he's working for that original Mafia planet. He's hired out as a hired gun. Other stuff, there's other backstory stuff to do with him, but it's not relevant. No one cares. So then we get to the meat and potatoes of this planet's adventure, or what would become the highlight, the prison job. It goes about as well as the prison job from GTA. I would argue that the prison job from GTA actually went better.
Yeah.
But Ty, you want to do this one? Because I just did the last one.
Okay, and I think I'll end the stream after this because now that I've finally done this, I can end it. So,
Yeah.
So we basically set it up as we first start off by having Tony, our resident shapeshifter, seduce one of the guards, which turns out to be a super nerd who takes him to, what was it, an Arby's or something?
It wasn't very high class.
And instantly proposes to her on date 1. So she ends up leaving him tied
This
up
guy's desperation
naked
stat
in a
is
motel
high.
and takes his clothes so that she can pose as him because she can shapeshift, and she gets in and infiltrates. And after some RP where she basically instantly makes his life better by hyping him up after getting laid and everything, proceeds to make her way into the warden's office and proposes that she should help interrogate the one of the prisoners, being the person we're here for, so that in character, so that she could, talk to her and find out why she's here, and when she tells him, just to try and sort of break the character. Meanwhile, we are. Most of us have actually sort of split up. The one here currently is Zahir.
Mm-hmm. And this is when I believe Noxia and Basil are getting Basil fixed.
Yes.
And you went back to Neo's ship.
Because I'm almost dead from fighting Wolverine.
Again.
Yeah. So so that's how the party split. Now, Zahir, his one job was to wait for Tony. And he goes chasing off a little rat. He goes on his little adventure. His own little adventure. Now, Zahir proceeds to chase this rat around. Over time, he breaks into the prison by accident, not even realizing it, climbing around.
Because he can teleport a lot.
He can teleport. And he ends up making his way to the top of the prison, where he finds 2 mysterious people. They seem to have an explosive. Now, Zahir, fortunately, is a pyromaniac and knows his explosives. Now, Parker tells Zahir, and I know that he told Zahir, yeah, you can tell...
What were the exact words?
These explosives have the level to destroy the entire block. Like, big. Like, completely decimate it. And Zahir says, wow! I want to help you with that. Yep.
So that means Zahir is helping these unknown people plant explosives on the building that their friend is currently infiltrating.
So Zahir proceeds to help, and these people are like, what the fuck is this person? But okay. Only during this time, Molly, playing Tony, has proceeded to make her way to the interrogation and is talking to her friend in the interrogation room. Slowly feeding little tidbits of information that this is... because this person knows Tony is a shapeshifter, but not the other people in the room. Slowly feeding tidbits of information, explaining that it is Tony trying to help. And just at a moment, they're talking, and then Zahir teleports into the room and says, "Hey Tony, there's explosives going on!" Boom.
Literally, I got to the point where I kept asking, "Hey, Sophie, what you doing?" So he's like, "Still planting those explosives." I said that several times, and then eventually, I was like, "Okay, you finished planting all the explosives they gave you." And Zahir is like, "All right, I want to find them." And I said, "They're gone. They've left." Because what do when you hand an idiot a bag of bombs? You run quickly. And they were gone. And then Sophie was like, "Okay, can I disarm the bombs?" I'm like, "Okay, you know where the ones you planted are." They gave you like 6, and they each had bags with probably that much, maybe a little less or a little more.
Mind you, one of these explosives levels a block.
This was like they wanted to disintegrate the prison. It was very apparent to everyone else in the party, out of character, that these were going to make a crater where this prison is. And Sophie was like, "Okay, can I disarm them?" And I say, You could probably disarm one of them. She's like, how much time is on them? I'm like, you don't know. And you just hear them beeping, and it's slowly getting faster. And then Sophie was like, huh. I'm going to teleport into the prison where Molly is and just say, there's bombs! And that's the moment that they exploded. Because guess what? They had 5 fucking seconds on them. Because the whole idea is they were never supposed to get planted in the first place.
So, against all odds, Zahir lives.
They each have to make a roll. They basically make a roll where they have about 25% chance of living. With 1 health point. With 1 hit point.
Zahir is conscious. Tony is not. And
Tony's dead.
Tony's friend is also alive, but I think missing an arm.
Yeah, an arm got blown off in the explosion. And basically all of them were under debris.
So, despite everything, EMS arrive. Because Basil ends up coming, because obviously Noxia and Basil see a fucking nuke go off in town and thinks, what the fuck?
They literally came out of what is a cell phone shop. They're like, okay, Basil solved. Let's go help our friends with the plan. Just a mushroom cloud in the distance.
But EMS arrive. They manage to resuscitate Tony, and then Noxia and Zahir teleport all the people we need to onto the ship that we have, zooming in and coming back out. And we managed to escape with just thinking, what the fuck?
And you were being shot at by the air defenses because you had your ship nosedive at a city, and they were like, oh fuck. After an explosion went off, the military was like, that's probably not good. Shoot it down. And then so you guys had to make a very quick exit.
Yep.
And I still want to point out, this is definitely another one of where I think I was throwing a bone when I gave EMS the role to try and resuscitate Tony.
Look,
because in hindsight, Tony probably should have been dust.
The dragon incident with Ava was what I used to think was the biggest bone you've thrown to the party. That nuke is the biggest bone you have thrown to the party. They were in the middle of a actual 1,000 megaton bomb.
So many people died.
So many people died.
Once again, Zahir's kill count increases.
And yet it somehow still doesn't pass Basil's. Crazy! Isn't that wild? Isn't that insane?
That was the day, because you remember that day, because Lee was sending us, because Lee, Molly, and Sophie were in the same room that day, and Lee was sending us images in Discord of Sophie on the couch laughing maniacally, and Molly was hiding under the blankets in terror, like, my character is about to die. You are literally about to kill my character. Because every time Sophie said, yeah, I'll help them plant bombs for now, and Molly literally screamed, what are you doing?
So yeah, it's been 3 hours, and these have been a lot of stars and D&D stories.
If are you gonna upload this to YouTube?
I'm going to make this one big chunk where I started searching for the Volbeat. There's obviously stories I told before that'll go to YouTube, but it'll all go in. This one will just be a huge hour chunk.
Okay. For anyone that watches this and makes it this far, let us know in the comments if you want us to, because we'll probably do it anyways, but let us know if you have any interest in us just making a roundtable video of talking about the stories so far in our games that are off stream, because we have many more stories like this.
So many stories. That wasn't the first time with Abe and the Dragon that I fought an incredibly powerful being in a one-on-one fight.
Oh, it was not.
It wasn't.
You had an even worse matchup where you said, "Hi, I'm a level."
That's a story for another time.
I know, but I'm just gonna tease it with, "Hi, I'm a level 4 sorcerer. Hello, fucking pit fiend."
Yep.
With challenge rating 21.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let us know if you want to hear our shitty, stupid stories that we almost die to every session.
What's the roundtable going to be called?
Dungeons and dipshits.
Yeah, we can give them. We have names for these campaigns. Like we have the World of Nimbus, which is the 5e one, and then we have Sector 37, which is the sci-fi one. So we'll come up with names.